Okay, so we are now recording. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to give us a little bit of background before we get started, Barret, about the Puritti brand, how it came about, and just how you see where it fits into the marketplace?
Sure, absolutely. I don't know how long, I guess, UK has been live with RX, but Purity is one of the original brands of RX. It was here before Jove, it was there before many of our other products. So in the beginning, they started with just the vitamins, the minerals, and a water bottle. And we've gone through several versions of that water bottle since then. But this is kind of the old kid on the block here at RX. So Purity's been around for a long time. It's a big deal to us. And some time ago, maybe a year and a half, we added the air filter starting in China. And that's kind of rolled out slowly since to other markets. But it's picking up speed like crazy. We just sold through 600 units in the US in the last few months. And UK is starting to pick it up too. We've got this promotion going on, and we're seeing a lot of numbers come in. And so it's great. I can't believe the speed that it's growing.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I was going to talk about this later, but it's actually a perfect time now at the beginning of the call, and just to point out that all the stuff we're going to talk about is an opportunity for people to build the business, right? To gain some knowledge, gain some skills, so they can be more effective with a brand. But you just touched on it there, so let's just mention it. Just we talk about the promotion that is on at the minute with the air filter.
Yeah, absolutely. So from now until April 30. We're giving you 240 pounds off. I know there's been a little bit of confusion with the images that have been on shopping cart and so on, but it's 240 pounds off from the normal price. And for everyone that you sell, this is a fantastic building opportunity. We pay you I think it was a 55-pound bonus. I checked the numbers on that, but so not only do you get any retail difference if you're able to retail that unit, plus commissions, plus we give you a little sales bonus for every one you sell. It's a great time to get it for yourself if you don't have one already, because it's not often that we put discounts like this on something like an air purifier, which is typically very high cost. And so it's a great opportunity for you from now until April 30 to really get out there and build your business with it. I'm probably biased here at RX, but just because I'm the brand manager for Purity, but I think that air filter is the best possible opportunity you have to not only make a lot of money on retail, but also really build a business with it. So.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for pointing that out. And so for those guys who are on the call, I'm sure you're on the call because you want to build with the air filter as well as the water. Then if you're going to purchase one, that's what Barrett's saying now, there is no better time, because you're actually, for a limited time only, you can get a huge reduction on that. So bear that in mind. And for those who are not, I've only just joined the call, I'm not a guy who asks people to do something he wouldn't do himself. You can see that behind my baldy head, my little air filter there. And not just also because I want my daughter to breathe clean air, because when I seen the videos you made, Barret, I panicked and started walking around with my hand over my mouth because I didn't realise there was that many airborne toxins in the world. But also beyond, the health and well-being of the people who live in the house, it was for a business opportunity. If I'm going to turn up at, some business and say, hey, I want to demonstrate this product, then I need to have the product. We're in the recommending business, right? So, that's something, if you're on the call and you've got aspirations of building an air filter business, then you need an air filter, really. It's as simple as that. Okay, so thanks for the bit of background about the air filter and the current promotion. So, for those guys who are on the call and they're going to go out now, they're going to speak to friends, family, and things like that. You've got a little demonstration for us, right? That you can show us how to effectively demonstrate the power of this air filter.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to do something a little bit different than maybe you've seen in other webinars or training calls. I came home for this webinar. It's midday for us here in the US, in Utah, but I'm going to hook you guys up to my little selfie stick here and give you a tour of my own house and show you all of the sources of contamination that you might be able to find. And you can use this kind of as a demonstration or a training about how to do this for somebody else, whether it's in your own home or you go to their house to demonstrate. You can kind of follow this as a guide for how to educate them about air pollutants and then demonstrate the power of the air filter. So give me just 1 second. Don't get dizzy while I hook you up to my selfie stick, and then Then I'll show you my enormously average house.
Hey, well, it's less air to clean, right?
Right. Okay, so there you go. Here's your requisite selfie pose. All right. So if you have any issues hearing or seeing, please let me know. But I'm going to give you a little tour of my own basement here. Okay. So as you can see, I've got my air filter sitting down here that I'm going to demonstrate in just a second. But the one thing that people that usually aren't aware of is contamination. There's so many sources of contamination that we're either unaware of or we don't pay attention to. And most of those come from our own house. You all can look over the city that you're in and maybe see some haze, pollution from the cars and the streets, and it's easy to see there. But what you don't understand is that that same concentration is in your house, and it's often worse. Reports have said that air pollution in your house is 2 to 5 and even up to 100 times worse than outside because it gets concentrated in our houses, which are sealed. You have air coming in through your ventilation system, but it doesn't get out very well. And so there's a lot of things within your house as well that contribute to that pollution. So that's why levels are usually higher in the house than outside of the house. Okay, so let me give you a little tour of my basement down here. It's just kind of a nice little living room. We've got our couch, our TV, a little door to the outside, a small backyard there. I've got all of my kids' toys down here. This is my daughter's room right behind me that I'll take you in just a second. But you'll notice in my house, probably like all of your houses or apartments, I've got paint on these walls. Paint is a huge source of air pollution, whether your house is new or old. If you've ever built a new house or rented a new apartment where they just painted, you can smell that new house smell in the air. And while we usually associate that with clean and new and happy, those are air pollutants that you're smelling. So don't kid yourself. It's not a good thing. Paint on the wall gives off formaldehyde over time. There's a lot of chemicals in it that even after it's dry, it slowly releases these things. On the floor, I lived in Norway for a year and we didn't have any carpet on our floors there, so I don't know how different it is from the UK, but here in the US, a lot of people have carpet on the floor. Carpet is a petroleum product, meaning it comes from oil, like anything plastic does. Carpet is a huge source of other compounds, chemicals that get released into the air very slowly. I'm talking about something called VOC, which stands for volatile organic compound. And all it means is these are gases which just get released slowly into the air. And carpet is a big contributor to that. As I said, anything plastic also comes from this. There's been a lot of changes recently about what kind of plastics children's toys can be made from because they release these gases into the air. TVs, anything wood in your house. Wood is often treated, especially these pressed board, prefabricated furniture. They can release formaldehyde and benzene and other things into the air. All of these chemicals can be really hazardous to your lungs. They damage the lining of your lungs. They get into your bloodstream and travel to your brain, your fat tissue, your muscle tissue, and cause chemical instability in your body. They lower IQ, which is one thing that I thought was really interesting. And what's even scarier is that old people, young people, especially your kids, are more vulnerable than somebody who's in middle prime age and has a great immune system. Okay, so all of these things can add. You'll see I've got a little chalk table that I built for my daughter. You can imagine the dust that comes off of this thing when she's drawing pictures for us. Humans themselves are the biggest cause of dust in the house. We shed about 9 pounds, not the money pounds, but weight unit. I don't know what it is in kilograms, but 9 pounds of dust per year just from skin cells shedding off of our body, which is disgusting, but that's where it comes from. And if you have pets, it's even worse, right? All of that dander and hair is flying through the air and gets into your lungs. And your lungs have some filtering system through your nose, but these particles can be very, very, very small. I'm talking about 0.3 to 10 microns in size. And for comparison, if you were to look at one of your hairs end on, so if it's a circle, right, in diameter, that hair is 50 to 70 microns wide. So we're talking about a fifth and even smaller than the width of a hair.
I'd have to use one from my eyebrow, obviously, for that demonstration.
Right, yeah, pick one off your eyebrows.
Yeah.
That's good. But these are the kind of particles that get down into your lungs and into your bloodstream, and they cause strokes, they cause lung irritation, they cause a whole host of really bad problems. Even obesity has just been linked to air pollution. And it comes from the dust in the air, the chemicals in the air, and things like bacteria, viruses, and mold, which we call bioaerosols. It causes illness and a host of problems. Let me keep walking you around my house. Here's a vacuum. I was talking to James before the call that every time you vacuum, you feel great because you're cleaning, right? But vacuuming just stirs up the dust in the air. So it gets into your lungs even more. It's a higher concentration. I'm going to take you here into my daughter's room. If you can see this okay, here's her bed. We just bought this nice poster bed for her. We got it at a huge discount, which I was very happy about. But mattresses, let me pull this off. You can see this. Mattresses are full of chemicals, mostly from flame retardants, right? Mattresses are made so they will not burn. I've seen all kinds of videos on the internet where people put a torch right up to a mattress and it will not burn. It's got that many chemicals in it. And we spend a third of our lives on these things, sleeping at night. I'm going to take you now into my bathroom. This is my daughter's bathroom. And you can see all kinds of things in here which can add to pollution. So we've got some hairspray. Anything aerosolized puts chemicals into the air, as well as whatever you're trying to do to make your hair pretty, or James, your eyebrows pretty, whatever you like. Nail polish. You know that smell. You go into a nail salon, a hair salon, you can smell all these things. They're VOCs. Right, here's some acetone nail polish remover. Another thing a lot of people have in their bathrooms or somewhere is cleaning chemicals. So down here in my cupboard, I've got a Clorox cleaner plus bleach, which you all know that smell. It's dangerous. It's bad for your lungs. Here's another hinge lube, like a lubricant for the hinges so they don't squeak. Okay? All of these things are putting stuff into the air, and that's why the concentration is so much higher in your home. And I've talked about all the illnesses already, but this is what we have to deal with. Many people don't associate whatever sickness they're having with air pollution, but in many cases, that is the cause. The same is true in your office. If you still have a day job outside of network marketing, your office is full of carpet, it's full of cubicles, it's full of pressboard furniture and a lot of people, which are causing pollution to come into the air. And it's likely that the ventilation system is not adequate. Okay, so if I've scared you enough with that, I want to give you a little demonstration of the air filter. I have with me a little particle counter, and some of you may have seen this used on a video on YouTube or in a demonstration that we've done at an RX event. Some of you maybe not, but what this does, let me see if I can arrange this so you can see it well enough. I'm going to pull you in a little closer. Okay, so this is my particle counter. It's made by a company called Dylos. I saw a question come up on the chat just a little earlier. We will be offering these for a huge discount from Dylos. It's like $100 US off of their retail price. I've asked my IT team to put these up on shopping cart already, but I haven't seen it there yet, so I'm hoping by the end of this week it'll be there. And we have extremely limited quantities, but if you decide to buy one and we run out, we'll order a whole bunch more. Okay, but this is a fantastic tool to use to show people what is in their air currently and how clean the air purifier makes it. Okay, so let me explain what's going on with these numbers. And I'm going to try to look at it at the same time. On the left side over here is a number with that's measuring small particles in the air. So these particles are 0.5 to 2.5 microns big. You remember the comparison to a human hair at 50 microns. On the right side is large particles. So that's 2.5 microns and bigger. And this is one way you can show people the difference in air between with a purifier and without an air purifier. On the back, there's a little scale. Hopefully you can read that. It gives ratings on the numbers from very good to very poor. So it looks like in my house, bordering on 500, 507, 514, there just jumped up to 600, and that's in the fair range. So it's not too bad in here right now. On Saturday, I was doing a training call for Woodson Gardner in the US, and the numbers in my house were over 1,000, which put me into the poor range. So even though it looks nice in here, we've got a nice house, we live in a mountain valley, there's pollution in the air, and it varies all the time. Okay? But this thing is a very powerful tool. The ones that we'll be selling have Puritti brand on them instead of Dylos, which is great. So it kind of gives you a complete story, and it's a great tool. So here I am with my air filter. I'm going to get on the ground and try to do this all one-handed. I'm going to put this Puritti particle counter down for a second and just show you the air filter. Many of you have seen pictures of this, of course. What's inside of this, you just open up the front panel. You've got two filters on the inside. One is a pre-filter, which does large particles. It's a series of 3 or 4 meshes, which will get rid of all of the hair, the pat dander, a lot of the big dust that comes into the air filter. Behind that is a main filter. This has more mesh. It's got the HEPA filter, which takes out really, really small particles. And behind it, I've got one pulled out here already. In the back of it, you can see there's all these little pellets inside. This is our VOC stage. So this breaks down all of the chemicals that I was talking about, like formaldehyde and benzene and so on. It captures those molecules and retains them permanently. It does it very efficiently in this filter. So this is the filter I have at home. It's actually a UK version of it, so I have a power converter that I use to run this at home. But it's incredible how it works. The biggest benefit I think I've seen, not only with peace of mind that I'm taking all these chemicals out of my air and dust, but my wife has said she doesn't have to dust so much anymore. And if that's not a big selling point, I don't know what is. You know, whoever does the dusting in your house, we do it so much less often. And I'm going to try to show you why that is. So this is the front panel, and you have to clean off this pre-filter in the back. You can vacuum and take it out, clean it once in a while, and that by cleaning it, you prolong the length of the main filter in the inside. Okay, but I was cleaning off my filter here, and hopefully you can see this. And I was cleaning off the front panel and decided to leave half of it there so I could just show you what kind of dust it is collecting. So this is the clean section, and this is the dirty section, if you can see it. And I'm just going to run my finger in here to kind of show you all of the dust that is coming off of this thing. It's amazing how much dust this pulls in and captures. It's a really powerful unit, and it does it even with great energy efficiency. So biggest selling points of this thing, it's energy efficient. It's not going to cost you a lot to run. I'm going to tell you about that in just a minute with some numbers. It has 11 stages in here. I haven't seen any other air purifier that has 11 stages. They all tout maybe 3 to 5 stages, and even then they're only removing 1 or 2 types of pollutants. Puritti air filter removes all 3 types, being particles, VOCs, and bioaerosols. So that's the bacteria, virus, and mold in the air. Okay. Third, it's extremely easy to operate. We only have 1 filter that you have to replace. I've seen other air purifiers that require you to replace up to 9 different filters throughout the year. And so just a terrible user experience. And so we tried to make that really easy. And the filter is fantastic. So on the filter, I'm just going to turn it on here. You push the fan button, and this is now on low setting. You can see the ionizer is on. Ionizer puts these negative ions in the air, and that serves a few purposes. One, it helps to reduce odor and make the air smell cleaner. And two, it helps particles, anything that gets through the filter, these very small particles, to clump together and become much bigger particles. So the next time it's circulated, it will filter that out. It also causes them to have a charge so that they get attracted to surfaces, things like your tabletop or your TV, whatever. But then it's better on the surface than it is in the air, because then it's going to get into your lungs. Right? So that's the purpose of the ionizer. I always recommend to turn the ionizer on during the day, because it kind of gives you this energy feeling. It energizes the room. It's a really good thing. It's healthy to have on. It's totally safe. But at night, turn it off. You'll sleep better. I've had testimonials coming in like crazy about people who have serious allergies, who have pets, who have a hard time sleeping through the night. And once they put an air purifier into their room or into their house, they said they sleep like a baby, where their allergies are totally gone. One of my coworkers just down the hall has really bad allergies. And so he's hacking all day long, just coughing and coughing and coughing and sneezing. And it really hurts our workplace productivity, because we've got to listen to this guy coughing all day. We put an air purifier into his office, and the coughing stopped immediately. So we tell him, close your door, turn on the air purifier, and we can all get some work done. It's really nice. But this is the kind of effect that it has on people.
You just brought up a valid point there, Barret, because if people are speaking to people rather than telling them about the power of the air filter, they could show them. Because if I had a family member and said, hey, look, you've got this allergy, why don't you borrow my air filter for a couple of days, so they can actually physically see the difference. So again, that's why it's important maybe to, if you're going to recommend a product, have that product to hand.
Absolutely. And most allergies come from things that are in the air, like pollen or dust. Something like that. So another way you can show them how well it's going to work, even before you lend it to them, is to use that particle counter. Okay, so I'm going to show you again. The numbers on here right now are about 300, 400 on the small particle size. So I'm going to try to show you while I put this over the air filter, and you're going to watch these numbers go down to 0 or near 0. So let me see if I can get this in a space where you can see. Can you all see it?
Yeah, it's dropping.
There, see the large particles at 0. Can you read these numbers, James?
14. It's gone down to 10. 7.
Yep.
3.
So even though, there you go, 0, 0. So even though the air in my house is in the fair range, right? It's not terrible, but these are particles that are in the air. And the difference between 300 and 0 is huge. In many houses, like I said, yesterday my house was at 1,000. So 1,000 to 0 is an incredible difference. And this is one of the ways you can focus on how much different it will be in the potential customer's house, is by showing these numbers go down. It's a fantastic tool. Like I said, it should be up hopefully by the end of this week.
Okay.
Another way you can show people, I'm hoping some of you have seen this on Shopping Cart. We've got this little booklet we call it a cutaway book. It costs $10 US. I'm not sure what the British pound cost is, but it gives you an example of every stage of this air filter. So rather than lugging your purifier around or pulling the filters out of it, you can show what each stage of this thing does. I'm going to take you off my selfie stick so you can have a stable view. Just a second here.
Yeah, one of the guys was asking, is that available in Europe now with regards to that little sales tool that you just showed?
Yeah, it should be there. If not, please let me know, and I will have I believe we have these for every market. So this is talking about each stage, and like I said, there's 11 stages. Stage 1 is a poly mesh pre-filter. It's washable, captures large particles. So it gives a little explanation down here about what each stage does. Okay, so this is all of these stages are pre-filter. Then you get into the main filter. You've got some more mesh. This is the HEPA filter, that kind of corrugated white thing. You've got these diffusers in the VOC section. And then I have some pictures of what each of the VOC stages does. We've got carbon pellets, which are really great for odor, toxic vapors that capture them. There's another group of pellets that is zeolite, just like it's in our water filter. Does a fantastic job of one, killing bacteria, but it also takes out a lot of other chemicals. So specifically it says ammonia compounds and other odors from the air. I haven't seen any other air purifier that has zeolite in it, so that's a really unique one for ours. And finally, there's potassium permanganate. This serves to remove things like aldehydes, so the formaldehyde in your paint or maybe your furniture. This is what captures those chemicals and never lets them go, and it oxidizes a lot of things. It's a very fantastic tool. Some other air purifiers have this in it, but no air purifier has this combination of three VOC removing technologies. Okay, so this is a great little tool to have. It's a lot more portable than the air filter itself, so you can take it around with you and show people. One way that people
have just said that they've said it's not on the office. I think people will probably check in while we're on the call. They said that that's not available on our office, so if that could be arranged, I mean, that'd be great, guys.
Okay, I'm writing it down now, and I'll take care of it.
Perfect.
Okay, so when I talk about one of the biggest questions that I've had coming in from many markets is how do I address the cost of the unit? And many of you may have run into this problem yourselves. There is a much higher upfront cost than any kind of air purifier that you'd find at a local hardware store or maybe on Amazon or any of these other online dealers. And so it becomes important to show your potential customer the value of that unit over time. And if you're able to do this math, and I'm going to show you an example, you'll see that the Puritti air purifier, while it has a higher upfront cost, the long-term cost is significantly lower than even the cheap models. And so let me show you this. I had some suggestions from James before this call about what kind of air purifier I should compare to in the UK, and it came back that Blue Air is a popular brand there, just like it is here in the US. So I'm going to give you the example of an air purifier called the Blue Air Sense. But first, let's go over the Puritti air purifier. And I apologize, this isn't going to be so clean because I'm doing this presentation on my phone. Otherwise, I just share my screen.
No,
but can you see it okay?
Yes, it's good. It's good.
Okay. So when we're talking about value, we have to think about 8-year cost. And I'll explain that in a second. So over 8 years, what does it cost to run that air purifier and have clean air? So the Puritti air purification system, this cleans out a room 1,350 square feet big. I doubt if many of you have a room that large. I wish I did, because that would be huge and awesome. But it cleans out a lot of air, and it does it very quickly. So it'll clean out this much space twice in an hour. Okay, so it's very powerful, and as long as air is circulating throughout your home, it's going to clean that air. So the unit plus the lifetime warranty costs £1,241. This is the normal price without the promotion. So as I said, we're giving you this £240 off right now in the promotion. With the lifetime warranty, you get replacement or repair of that unit for your life, for the life of the unit, if there's any manufacturer defects. But the biggest selling point here is that you get 7 free replacement filters. And each one of these replacement filters costs £177. Just because of all the technologies that are in it. It's a hefty filter. It's very high class. It costs quite a bit, £177. But if you buy the lifetime warranty, I give you 7 of them for free. And I give it to you once a year. We recommend replacing them every 6 months to a year, depending on air quality. Most people, if the air isn't too bad, are able to last for a year. Okay? If you need to buy one earlier, then it's great. It's easy to buy on shopping cart. And I'm going to talk about real cost here. I've seen some people demonstrate this, the value of the unit by giving you the cost of the thing minus replacement filters. And so in that case, your air filter would cost £2 over 8 years. And Well, that sounds really nice. It's not that realistic, right? Because you still have to pay 1,241 pounds up front. Okay, so if we're realistic, you buy it for this much. I give you 7 free filters, which has a 1,240 pound value over 8 years, and it's going to cost you some money to run that thing. Like I said, the air filter is very efficient. So over 8 years, on the very highest setting, I was talking to James about this before too, it's very rare that you put it on the highest setting unless you really need to clean out the air after cleaning or cooking something and it's very dirty. If you run it on low or medium, this cost is going to be 10% of that. Okay, so let's say you run it on turbo setting 24/7 for a year. It's going to cost you 1,000 pounds. So 8-year total cost is 2,289 pounds. Okay, that might seem like a lot, but when you look at an air purifier that you might get at a hardware store, like I said, I'm going to talk about Blue Air Sense. This one only costs 300 pounds up front. That's not a lot. Replacement filters, there are 2 inside of this that you have to replace twice a year. Okay, so over 7 years, the same amount of time as you get free filters for the Purity air purifier, you're going to pay 686 pounds in air filters. And over 8 years, each one of these air filters is going to cost you 300 pounds. Now that's looking pretty nice at only 1,297 pounds compared to Purity over 8 years. But I want you to notice something, applicable room size. Okay, I said the Purity air purifier can clean 1,350 square feet of space. Well, this one only does 150. So you can put it in your little bathroom and it's going to be a good thing. Okay, but that doesn't take care of the rest of your house. So you're going to still be breathing dirty air throughout the rest of your house. So
that's
150 square feet in the Blue Air, you have to have 9 of those to compare with Purity to do the same amount of cleaning. That's a lot of filters to run in your house. So each one is going to be $299 plus $686 in 7 years of filters plus 312. And if you multiply that number by 9 to do the same amount of cleaning, you're looking at almost 12,000 pounds compared to 2,000 with Purity. Okay? You can do this with any air filter. It's the overtime where they get you in comparison to the upfront cost. So we ask you pay for your air filters up front. We basically give you the unit for free, and you're going to have 8 years of clean air plus replacements. No other air filter company is going to offer a lifetime warranty. So the value on this is incredible.
Barret, could you use that as an example now? Could you put that on a one-pager for us? Just, you know, it doesn't even just like that, just as an example, so you could say to people, look for the cost of the filters, look for the amount of space it cleans, and then just that simple formula. So if people then come across other brands, they know what to look for straight away. Okay, what's the cost? What's the cost of the replacement filters? And how much air does it clean? And then they can do that maths, right?
Yep, absolutely. It's easy to do. So we'll put up a little guide or a little document that shows some comparison and features and cost and gives you some instructions for how to do it your own way, because everybody's looking at different filters, right? We can't possibly cover all of them.
Yeah, but a couple of
you'll be smart enough to do it on your own. Yep.
Perfect.
Great. I love that idea. Okay, so I've shown you not only where pollution comes from in your house, I've shown you the power of the air filter and talked about its main features. I've talked about the value comparison to other air purifiers and how Purity is actually quite inexpensive over time. And of course, you want to be breathing clean air all the time. It's not like I want clean air this year and next year I'm going to be okay breathing all these chemicals. Nobody would ever say that. So now I want to talk about how some reps have been selling the air purifier and having success. I know Mike Shoulders there in the UK has been really pushing on getting these bulk sales to hotel chains and to trade shows, things like this. We've had a few reps have success doing that here in the US. Nobody's landed a hotel chain yet, so that'd be awesome, Mike, if you can do that if you're listening. But they have taken it to trade shows, and as long as you can explain this value, and of course we'll have these documents coming out for you very soon, then it's a fairly easy sell. Another ways that people have done this is taking it to things like hair salons, pet shops. Anybody who has a pet at home is a great candidate. Anybody who has a house is a great candidate. But one thing that people have been doing is taking this particle counter into small businesses, and they'll offer a free air quality assessment, right? So you leave your particle counter there and say, watch these numbers, show them the scale. There is a version of this particle counter which you can hook up to a computer. It's pretty technical. I wouldn't recommend it unless you're super savvy. But even just seeing the numbers is very powerful. Then take an air purifier in, turn it up on high for a couple of days there, and have them watch the numbers go down. It's extremely powerful, and it sells itself. You can do the same thing at home, right? Take a Puritti particle counter into the house, show the particles like I did here at my house, show the air coming out of the air purifier, and how clean it is. It's a great demonstration. If you don't want to spring for a particle counter, you can do the same thing with a little laser pointer or a flashlight. Just turn the lights off, make sure it's dark in the room, and shine that light in the air, and you'll see all of the particles zipping across that beam of light. It's a great way to show what's usually invisible to us in the light, right? Air pollution is always present. One way that I've done this at home, I have this one all the time, is I just try to have friends, and we bring our friends over for dinner often. We sit them around the dinner table, and we always have the air purifier in that room. And without fail, every couple or family that has come to eat with us has asked what that thing is. And so I explain very quickly. I give the 10-second pitch about the air purifier and how thorough it is at cleaning out all types of pollutants. My next door neighbors are particularly susceptible to allergies, to dust in the air, and they've been super excited when they come over and see that this is cleaning out the air, and you can smell the difference in the house. It's an incredible thing, and we've lent it to them before. So this is a great way. It's totally natural. You want to have these interactions with people anyway, but if it's present in the room, then it's a great way to start a conversation.
Can I just add on that, Barret? What you talked about before is so powerful, because if you go in with the intention of giving value, a free assessment, you're not trying to sell a product. What you're doing is saying, hey, look, I'm going to just show you the quality of your air. A problem occurs when they see the quality of their air, and then you offer a solution. That's how business works, rather than trying to solve a problem to someone that doesn't really understand that there's a problem. So very powerful if you can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a natural thing. And one thing that I think that will be key to helping you have success in selling this thing is just to have confidence. The product speaks for itself in these demonstrations, and we'll have so many more tools coming out very soon to help you make that convincing. But it really is a fantastic opportunity. It's a great way to not only bring people into the business and build your business and team, but it's a great way to make a retail profit as well and do it quickly. So I encourage all of you to have one if you don't already, and to really get serious about thinking about selling these, because again, I'm biased, but it really is the best opportunity in RX, in my opinion.
Yeah, perfect. Barret, we've got quite a few questions to get through, so we'll kind of do quick fire. Pretend you're on a game show, and you just answer as quick as, and then we move on to the next one.
Great.
So
Let's do it.
Just a short answer. People are asking, on average, how much will the particle counter cost?
I'm not sure what the price was in pounds. I could pull it up, but if we're doing this rapid fire, it's going to be $190.
Okay, so no worries. Probably
normally over $300. So it's quite the discount.
Yeah, huge discount. But of course, if you're serious about building with the Puritti brand, a great sales tool. Answer live, done. I'm just going through some of these. Do the filters get sent out automatically each year?
Yeah, we'll send you a little email reminder and place it in your shopping cart automatically. So you just go in and claim it.
Okay, cool. How many do you have? So how many do you have in your house? I know it's to do with kind of the square feet, but your average house is one. I've just got one here, which is behind me. Is that enough?
Yep. It depends on your house, of course. I talked about any air purifier is going to depend on how well air can circulate. So, for example, if I have my air purifier down here in the basement, it's not going to clean the air upstairs very well, is it? So, depending on the format of your house, you may need more than one. It cleans out a lot of space, so whatever room you put it in, it will clean that very well. But the great thing is we put wheels on it. It's easy to transport. So I always recommend to take the air filter where you are. That way you can use one, and you can always have clean air where you are. It's always going to be more efficient if you're closer to it.
Okay, cool. Emily Schofield says, can this be used in painting services without the fire hazard? My brother says they changed their filter day for that reason. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
No, maybe read it again.
Okay, can Emily write your questions better next time? Can this be used in a painting services without the fire hazard? No, I don't know. Emily,
I don't know.
Right, again.
Putting the air filter in extremely polluted environments, like a house that is being painted, is going to fill up that filter really quickly. I like to compare it to a parking lot, and it's a very big parking lot, but there are a finite number of spaces in that parking lot, right? So as pollutants come in, they take up a parking spot, and once that parking lot is full, it's either going to pass those through or it's going to become less efficient and going to take more energy. That's why you have to replace the filter once in a while. And we give you a little reminder on the unit. After 3 or 4 months, there's a little light that turns on and says, check your filter. Doesn't mean it has to be replaced right then, but look at it. See if it's visibly dirty. If so, clean it off. If it's still pretty dirty on that white HEPA filter on the inside, then it's time to get a replacement.
Okay, cool. I've got some questions there. Does the air filter have any medical certification? So people are thinking about hospitals and things like that. Does it?
It does not have a medical certification. We've had this question come up a lot in the US. It does not have like an FDA medical designation, but it does remove an extremely high amount of pollutants. So you can still sell it to clinics and veterinary clinics, hospitals, etc., depending on their regulations. It's not classified as a reimbursable device, like a medical device, and we decided not to pursue that because of the extreme amount of time and cost that it takes to get that certification. However, we do have other certifications like California Air Resources Board. It's a very high-level certification. It doesn't classify it as a medical device, but you'll just have to talk to those facilities to see what their regulations are.
Perfect. So you talk about the ionizer before, does the air filter remove smell? Someone's asking about within regards to nail and hair salons and things like that.
Yeah, it does remove smells. So the ionizer helps with that. The carbon pellets and the zeolite pellets all help with removing odors from the air. Okay. It's very good to keep the ionizer on, especially if you're going for odors.
Yeah, and another one's asking about the ionizer with asbestos fibers.
We haven't tested it for asbestos removal. I can't answer whether it does or doesn't there.
Okay, cool. Think with regards to that. So what about sales tools now? Because we talked about that booklet, which obviously you mentioned you're going to get that put on, as well as the value from this call. Where's the best place for people to go? I know we've already got a Q&A section, which was shared yesterday. If people want to continue to learn more about this, where can they go?
Yeah, so if you have access to Insight, I don't know if that's been rolled out to the UK yet. Yes, yeah. Okay. There's a lot of great Q&As there, and you can get access to all of the PDFs and tools there as well. X-Office Library is where we have everything else. But as I was explaining to you before the call, we're in the process of creating a lot of tools and a totally comprehensive home environment improvement sales program. And that includes information about the air filter, the water filters, Prime Sentry, which is a great non-chemical surface cleaner, Restorix. As your body becomes polluted from all of these sources, you have to clean it out, and detox or Restorix is great for that. So we're tying that story all together with a lot of tools, and that should be available at least by this summer, but we're going to get moving really fast.
Connie is asking, is it discounted? The discount you've got offered, is it discounted in the Ultimate Pack as well?
Good question. I'll have to check our list on that, but I don't know.
Okay. We'll get back to you on that one, Consta. Okay, I just want to spend just like 10 minutes before we finish the call, because obviously there's two elements to the Puritti brand. I know we've gone over the air filter, and so many people are excited about that. So if there's anything else, we can always catch up with some questions. And I think what we're going to do as well, Mike Shoulders is on the call. Mike's done a lot of great work already. He's got some comparisons to some of the filters out there, things you should be looking for. And I think if we can just get a little bit of information together, as a group, we can send it to Barret. He said, he put the, obviously the logo, make it look smart, and we can continue to add to this growing repertoire of sales tools and information for you guys. And like Barret said, you can already go to myericsinsight.com, put in Puritti, there'll be loads of documents there. You've got your back office, so it's all available. And I'm saying to you, if you want to specialize this, if you want to be serious about this, then go and read that stuff, go and learn it like the people like Mike have done. I know Nikki Burns and Charlotte and so many others on the call are learning this information, writing down the key things which they think are attractive to people. And history will repeat itself. People will ask you the same questions, and then you'll get really efficient and confident. You'll have good posture, and once you do that, you'll sell a lot of air filters. But there's a whole process to happen before that. So let's talk about, while we've got 10 minutes left, let's talk about the water bottles. And I don't know how much you can tell us at the minute, but there's some changes afoot. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say, yes. And so I cannot make any promises right now about when those changes will be available. But of course, many of you have seen the surveys that we put out and some images, and maybe you've seen some executives walking around with a new prototype bottle and water filter. I'm very, very excited about these. Our biggest complaints with the water products so far have been, one, it's difficult to suck water through. And number two, the bottles have been leaking at times, and we've had some quality issues with the supplier. And so we're going about improving all of these, and the new filter, the flow rate is just unbelievable. It's almost non-existent. And so I think you're going to be really excited about that. Like I said, I can't promise when that is. We're hoping for this summer, but as you know, we do gold standard in everything. So as we're evaluating our suppliers for these products, we're making sure that they hold the highest standards and that we're going to have the best products, especially for these ones where we've had some complaints in the past. So we're going to do it right before we release that and make sure that you have the best product possible. But it's coming, and keep your eyes open.
Okay, cool. Just don't forget where I live if you need, obviously, to send some samples out, some prototypes.
Of course, yes.
To demonstrate that for you. So just go back to the air filter, because this was a question what was asked before. Dion is asking, can we purchase in installments? I've heard this being mentioned, because obviously it's a big ticket item. Is that looking like it's going to be available?
It is, yeah. We're doing some evaluation right now on this program in the U.S. We kind of did it just on a trial basis to see how it works, but it's been very favorable. And so we're working on putting that together for other markets, UK being the first one. So keep your eyes open for that. We've had a lot of requests for it, and it makes that air filter a lot more affordable up front. And it's also great for qualification because we use it in the US to replace auto delivery. Oh. So you can you pay either a down payment and then 6 months worth of payments that keep you qualified for that time, or you can put it on a 12-month payment plan. There's a very small financing fee on those payment plans, but it's a great tool because it keeps you qualified without any effort, and you get that air filter. So we're putting it together right now, and we'll have some news hopefully very soon on that. Well,
that's great, because you know that we're the fastest growing market in the world at the minute, right?
You are, yes. Now we can't deny it. So we're
by default, you're in a call full of action takers, and all you have to do with action takers is just basically clear the snow for them. So I guarantee if you do that for these guys on this call, they will pay you back by growing a huge business and taking the Puritti brand to whole new levels in the UK. So hopefully there's a little bit of haste with that transition, because you can see the guys already saying yes, that's awesome. They would love it.
Yeah.
So write that down, Barret. Put that at the top of your list to make that a priority for the UK market, that we can have some installment plan sooner rather than later. Okay, back to the water bottles. So phenomenal as they are, the most advanced portable filtration system out there. So people are asking, because they make comparisons, with the fridge kind of jugs and maybe a filter to go on the tap. Is there any aspirations to extend the range?
Yeah, we're looking into some options there. The pitcher being kind of the forefront, which is a great tool. Again, we're looking for the best supplier for this. And so, yeah, we're absolutely hoping to expand that line. Again, timeline, I don't know yet.
Okay, perfect. And just for the water bottle, just to kind of close it off with that, the same again with Eric's Insight, my Eric's Insight, the best sales tools. And I assume that there's probably a whole host of new sales tools coming with a new water bottles, right?
Yeah, exactly. We won't put out much on the old ones for now, just because that wouldn't be an efficient effort. But whatever we have, it's like a detailed technical document that would be on either Insight or X Office, and we have that in several languages. But that's where you'll find that tool, and we'll have a lot more coming out with the new water bottle, including demonstration videos, a guideline about how to do home demonstrations that are kind of corporate approved. You've probably seen a lot of things on YouTube about people drinking all kinds of crazy stuff with these water bottles. And while it might remove a lot of those things, we have to remember that the filters are designed to make water safe, not necessarily totally pure water. So people put coffee into the filter, they put orange juice in, they put urine in, and while it will make those things safe to drink, there are pigments and other things that are harmless to you, which can get through sometimes and impart some taste or color to the water. So just be smart with your demonstrations, and we'll have some guidelines about how to do that in a way that is convincing and also totally truthful and not misleading.
Yeah, so all the squaddies on the car, that's the soldiers. All the soldiers on the car, stop urinating in your water bottles and stick it on YouTube.
You can do it. You just try it at home first. Make sure that it's going to work for you.
Or you can do it to someone else and actually take the filter out and then say, hey, taste that. That's pretty funny. Another thing I was going to say, that people are asking, obviously, with the filters, it's kind of guesswork, saying, hey, you can start to taste the water. Is it an aspiration to have some sort of indication on the filters going forward?
Yeah, we'll pursue some kind of certifications and awards with that. Of course, all of the testing is done by accredited third-party laboratories. So there is a testing document which can be found on Puritti.com, and I think it's on Insight as well. If it's not there, I'll make sure to go check it right now. But it shows everything that water filter removes and at what level, how it was done. So it's a great certification, and it goes and. So we'll have this available with the new one, of course, when that comes out. So go look for that, and then you can be sure this is what it removes, this is what it doesn't or hasn't been tested to remove.
Okay, cool. Sorry, maybe I didn't explain that right. But like the indication when, some of these water filters where you say, okay, it's time to change your filter. You have like a light, or I know you're probably not going to have a light in it. Will there be something that can maybe prompt people to change the filter?
Yeah, so there's a couple ways that we're thinking about doing this. Of course, with the new products, many pitchers you see have a little indicator light on it for filter change. It's really just a timer. Some of the bigger, really expensive water machines have sensors that tell you when to change it, but in most cases, it's time. Okay. So we recommend about 2 months. And we're working on a system where you can basically scan a code and get a text or email reminder when it's been about the amount of time that the filter should be replaced. And so we'll just remind you, put this on your auto delivery now, and we'll give you a new filter at the right time.
So people are sucked into when they see these water filters in the fridge and they say, oh, the lights come on, it's just a timer, basically.
Just a timer. Yeah.
Right, so it's almost irrelevant. Set an alarm on your phone. There you go. Problem solved. Perfect. And I think just the last two before we go is are the water filters safe to drink water in foreign countries? I assume if it's not salt water, then that's fine. It's just the tap water in other countries and things, yeah?
Yep. It'll make those things safe to drink. It doesn't remove salt water, like you said. It's an extremely expensive and difficult process to remove salt, so you'll have a very hard time finding a filter that does that. But absolutely take it traveling. That's the best use for it.
Yeah, exactly. And people said, does it, obviously the mention of fluoride, does it filter fluoride?
We haven't tested it to remove fluoride. Many carbon-based filters like ours will remove some amount of fluoride, but we can't make any claims right now because we haven't done that testing. Okay, brilliant. And that is pretty much it. Is there anything else you want to add, Barret? No, it's such a pleasure to be with you and talk to our friends over there. Like you said, you're growing so fast. We want to support you as much as we can. We know you're going to do great things, and just biggest encouragement from us. And we love you guys. Thanks so much for having me on the call. I hope it was helpful. And please stay in touch with any questions, and we'll have these tools out to you very soon.
Okay, let me just point this out to the guys on the call. Just think about what this company do. So their pursuit of excellence. So they, like Barret said, they continually, how many times have you, if you like, made improvements to the Puritti brand since you've been involved, Barret? Would you say?
Since I've been here, my entire job since I started here last September has been to improve these water filters and bottles, and it's a process. But we do the best that we can, and we want to make sure that you have the best products to sell and use.
Absolutely. So just think about this, those guys on the call. Think about the comparison in the marketplace. You have a company which constantly wants to improve. It understands market trends, because you're probably starting to realize with air filtration and again with the, with the water filtration, where that fits into the marketplace at the minute. No other company's doing that stuff. But beyond that, you have a company who consults its field, because they ask you guys, hey, what sort of things would you like to do with this bottle? What sort of changes would you like there to be made? Well, even as far as naming and things like that. So you're consulted about these changes. And then when that comes, there's a whole host of sales tools and marketing stuff. So I just want you to think about that. And Pure is an example of what this company do, how they understand market trends, they position themselves in the market, and they make sure they're committed to bringing what they believe is the best. Oh, that's only the president, Mark Wilson. One sec, let me just cut him out. They believe that they're bringing the best to the market, so you have the absolute reassurance that you're going to your potential customers and other people with the best products out there. All you have to do is just do your research a little bit, understand, take the time to gain some experience, and then you can go and do that and look people in the eye and know that you've got phenomenal products. Barret, totally appreciate your time. The guys are excited. At one point, we nearly had 300 on the call. We've still got 240 people on the call. Thanks for taking the time out. For everyone else, gather this information, watch the call back, write some notes, and go out and speak to people. Like I said, safe in the knowledge that we've got the best, the water filtration and the air filtration out there. Everyone else, enjoy the rest of your week. Let's have a monster week. All roads lead to May the 7th. Barret, thanks a lot, and I'll chat to you soon.
Thanks a lot. See you later.
Cheers. Bye.